You say dove, and I automatically think of
Oh,
what was it? The bird lady in Home Alone in Lost
oh
in New
yeah.
York. That's what I immediately thought of. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. We are derailed already and we're not even 5 minutes.
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the other 99%, every seller matters.
Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of the Other 99%. I have back our friend Susan for another episode, and this episode is going to be all about personality types. And I'm just going to jump in and be honest and say this stuff for some reason, um, I just can't figure out, but it's something that I really, really, really think is very valuable. Um, to help you know how to deal with people. So I brought Susan on so she can chat, and she's got a bunch of resources to share. So we're just going to talk through the different, I think you said we're talking about disc personalities
Yes.
and Enneagram.
Well, not so much in it, whatever is it.
Okay.
Enneagram. I don't know a lot about that. I know someone that does, so maybe we'll have her on another episode.
Yeah.
But this was just something that helps you understand how best to communicate with your customers and your teammates too.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
that's where we are.
let's jump in and share the first, I guess the first personality type, right?
Okay, yeah. So this is based on the DISC model. DISC goes back to 1928, and it says there are four primary personality traits. So the D is for dominance, the I is for influence, the S is for steadiness, and the C is for conscientiousness. That's a big one. I was afraid I was going to mess that one up. But what I like about the site that I found, it compares each trait to a different bird.
Okay.
So it makes it easier to remember what each trait is. So, are
I
you
might be
ready?
able to remember it this time if we're relating it to
Okay, all
something
right.
else.
Yeah, yeah, it's not named something random. We're looking at birds. So if you're a bird lover, you're going to love this episode. Okay, so the first one is the dove. So when you think of a dove, what comes to mind?
Like gentle and
Ah,
I just think coo coo.
so if your customers are cooing, they are, oh my goodness, we're not going to make any sounds. Please aside.
It's like I just you say dove, and I automatically think of
Oh,
what was it? The bird lady in Home Alone in
oh
Lost in New
yeah.
York. That's that's what I immediately thought of. Sorry.
Oh my goodness, we are derailed already and we're not even 5 minutes. Okay, so the dove is the harmony seeker. They value relationships, they seek harmony, and they prioritize personal relationships over material things. It matters more to them who they are buying from than what they are buying. So, as we're reading each of these descriptions, just kind of think about those customers and those teammates and start to identify them. So who are your doves? Doves want to first develop a relationship with the seller. Expect a great listener who will ask personal questions to try and get to know you, making the sales process more laid back and informal. However, they don't make decisions quickly. Their collaborative nature means they'll want to involve the group in any decisions. Okay, so they're like the
Mhm.
peacekeepers, the harmony. They are so interested in the relationship. So then,
So how does that relate? Does it say how that relates to the disc? Like what is the dove on the disc
so the
sale?
dove,
Would that be an S or a C?
yeah, let's see. So that would be the dove is steadiness. The S.
Steadiness. So, okay.
Yes. I guess I should have gone in order. Why didn't they go in order? I'm just going by the started with
That's okay.
well, the
It's like
D.
as soon as you said that, I'm like, okay, that has to be like an S or a C. It was like,
Yeah.
so yeah, okay.
Yes. The dove is the steadiness. Okay, so then I have another site that says how to handle this person.
Okay.
How do you communicate with this person? Be patient and supportive and avoid pressuring them into a decision. Remember, they're going to take a long time to decide. So that might be the customer who they're watching you and
Mhm.
they're encouraging you and they want to get to know you, and then all of a sudden, like 2 years later, they're going to place an order and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like you've been with me so long.
Yeah.
Here is the order.
That would probably be the
uh,
customer that, that it says they have to see things like about 7 times
yes.
in order to make a purchase. And it is because they're trying to get the information. And I think that's a lot of me. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I want it all. I want all the information and I
Yeah.
need to know. And yeah, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I don't resonate with the person that I'm purchasing from, I most likely will not purchase from that person again.
Hmm.
So I definitely see a little bit of dove in me also. The last thing it says is for you to provide plenty of reassurance through testimonials, reviews, or guarantees to help them feel confident in their choice. They
Hmm.
might need a lot of nurturing, um, just caring TLC. Take your time with them, don't rush them, and just really focus on getting to know them versus pushing a product.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is our dove. That is our, I guess I should have gone in order. That is our steadiness. So the next bird we're going to talk about is the C in the disc, which is conscientiousness. And this is our owl. They have a very analytical mind.
Do you want me to make the sound? The whoo, whoo.
Lisa is our bird woman for the day. I don't know. That sounded a little bit like your dove, though, too. Okay, so owls are detail oriented, analytical, and logical decision makers. They thrive on information and appreciate a thorough and systematic approach. They'll probably ask detailed questions, but don't be surprised if they already know the answers. So they may be testing you. They will have definitely done their research beforehand. The more data you can show them, the more you can build trust with them. Although they stick to deadlines, analytical types usually have a longer buying process. This is to ensure they have fully vetted and understood all their options and are 99.9% sure of their decision. So they're going to take a long time too.
I think this is where I get confused because in the disc, I was always a mix between an S and a C.
And you can be more
Yeah.
than one letter. Yes. I think those strong personality types are only one of the disc letters. But if you're, a lot of people I think will fall into more than one. Okay, so how to handle our owl customers and teammates. Be prepared to provide detailed information backed up by data, statistics, or research. Avoid emotional appeals. Stick to the facts and focus on delivering clear, concise answers to their questions. All right, do you have an owl in mind?
No, but I'm just thinking like those are the people that it's like you don't reach out and say, I have a goal to meet. Please help me with it. Because they're just gonna
Yes,
be like,
yes. Turned
yeah,
off.
no, no,
Yeah,
that's not my thing, right? So
yes.
and I think that goes to say, anybody, like those aren't the kind of social media posts to put up anywhere.
Yeah,
Help me
yeah.
with this
That's
goal. It
always a
just,
no-no.
yeah. But definitely don't reach out personally to your owl people and say it because they'll
Yeah,
be just running the other way. So,
yeah, yeah. Flying the other way.
yeah. Have you ever seen an owl's legs, by the way? That's kind of cute. They would look cute running. They have pretty
No.
long legs. It's like they're just all budged up under the fur. I seen it one time
Oh,
on a TikTok and I'm like, "Oh my God, they have cute feet."
oh. We have an owl in our neighborhood, and I just love to hear. I mean, there's something very unique about an owl's sound. It's kind of I don't know, the vibration that comes out is kind of amazing. So
Uh-huh.
owls. Okay, are we ready? So the next one is the peacock. So what do you think of when you hear or see a peacock?
It's like, yeah, they're just showing off.
Yes,
They
very
just want
proud as a
all the
peacock.
attention, right? They just want the attention.
So these are our influencers, the social butterflies. Okay, so peacocks are outgoing, social, and driven by status and recognition. I think of like a lot of like TikTok influencers,
Hmm.
that whole generation. They enjoy being part of trends and seek experiences that make them stand out. So they are the ones who are, they see something trending, whether it's what's the Stanley
The Stanley
Cup?
Cup. Yep.
Yes. They have the Stanley Cups, they have the Jeeps, they drive the Jeeps, they are whatever is trending, that's where they are. Peacocks are essentially expressive types. Just like the owls, they value personal relationships and empathy. One of the most unique peacock characteristics is that they care deeply about other people.
Mm.
Interesting. Before making a decision, therefore, a peacock would definitely strive to fathom how their purchasing decision would impact those around them. So don't spend too much time on facts and figures. They are more interested in how their buying decisions will affect their business or household on a human level.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. They are also most likely to follow a link in the bio. So they are looking at
Ah.
links. If they see someone they like or a product, they're going to click the link. After seeing an influencer recommend a product, they are driven by trends, social status, and experiences that help them stand out. They are likely to engage with influencer content because it aligns with their desire for recognition and being part of what's popular. So those are also your super fan customers. Like I have customers and they are so supportive and posting pictures of their
Hmm.
products, and they want to be part of that community, and to know that they are on board and they align with what's being shared.
Yeah, in my head, I could picture a number of team members or sidelines or uplines that are definitely peacocks. Uh,
Yeah,
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 I mean, in the direct sales field, I think there's a lot of peacocks.
yeah. So encourage that, help them stand out and really encourage them, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for posting that testimonial, or
Hmm.
thank you for clicking that link and reading my blog, or whatever it is. So encourage that. Okay, so how to handle your peacocks. Engage in conversation and be personable. Ask about their needs and take time to build rapport. So focus on them. Use emotion in your pitch, express excitement about your product, and share customer stories or testimonials to connect with their feelings. So focus on them.
Hmm.
Okay, our next bird, our final bird is the eagle, and this in the disc is the dominance. So you think of an eagle, what do you think of?
Yeah, it's soaring over. It's gonna, it sees that mouse, it's going for it. That's what
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Okay, and a little sidebar. There is a website, and I cannot think of it right now, but it is a live cam of an eagle's nest. It's
Oh,
out I think it's in California. And it is amazing. Like we were watching this eagle, there's a male and a female, and every year this time the female lays eggs. So this year she laid 3 eggs. The camera is right there in the nest, and two
wow.
out of the three just hatched. So yesterday we were watching the eagle feed the babies this huge fish that the male eagle brought into the nest.
Hmm.
She's feeding them the fish. It is absolutely amazing. So we'll link that in the show notes too, because it is addicting. And I was watching it one day with my in the basement, which is where our rabbits live. And the rabbits heard the screeching of the
Oh.
eagles and were like, "Big
It's just like instinct, right?
I know.
It's like,
Like, have you ever seen an eagle? No, but they knew. Okay, so the eagle, they are our results-driven leaders. Eagles are assertive, results oriented, and value efficiency. They appreciate direct communication, focus on goals, and seek solutions that deliver tangible outcomes. They come to you knowing exactly what they are seeking. They are quite conscious of milestones and deadlines, and most often have quicker sales cycles. So they get right to the point. Like, this is what I'm looking for. Give me what you have. I got it. Eagles are not afraid to tell you exactly what they are thinking and feeling at any given moment without apology. The bottom line is most important to them. They will also take the time to listen to the other side, be prepared for a meeting and any questions they might ask. So you better have your act together.
hmm
Like, they want to know that you know what you're talking about, you're tried and true, and can help them. If you don't know an answer, honestly communicate that and assure them that you'll follow up and make sure you do so. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a funny story because I know two eagles that I think of right away because they're it's so opposite of me that they stand out more to me. So
hmm
when my husband and I lived in Mexico, there was a gentleman. His name was Basil, and he would always, like, after Mark would preach, he would come up to him, you know, toe to toe, directly, like in personal space, and just very assertively, either say something that he felt about the message or critique it, or very abruptly. And my husband finally, after weeks of this, he's like, Basil, why are you so angry? Like, I
hmm
don't mean to make you angry. Why are you so angry? And he said, he was very taken aback. He's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not angry. I'm just Greek. And that's just how they communicate. They're very straightforward, abrupt, and it can come across as like, ruffling the other person's feathers to stay on the bird theme.
hmm
Uh, but just understanding that about him, my husband had a completely different relationship with him now. He wasn't so, um, what's the word? He wasn't so defensive anymore.
hmm
Like, he was like, okay, like, we can have a good conversation now that I know your personality and why you're coming at me like that.
Yeah.
And I have another friend here, and when she wants to talk to me about something, she'll first send me a text with the bullet points of what she wants to talk about during the conversation. And then
Okay.
she'll say, call me when you have time. So when I call her, I know exactly, and she'll go down the list. Okay, did I talk about everything? I talked about this, this, this. Okay, bye. Like, that's it. So knowing that about her, like, I'm not gonna do small talk chit chat with her. She
hmm
doesn't, that's not her personality.
Yeah.
So knowing these personalities is so, so important.
Yeah. And I think it's very important. Like you might not know this stuff inside and out, but it's a good thing to sort of have an idea of the whole disc personalities if you're in business, because you're going to be interacting with all of these different personalities in any given day,
Yeah,
right? And you can't, like your husband discovered, you can't take offense. You can't think that they're attacking you when it's
right.
just that's how they are, right? So I mean, thinking about this, especially being in a leadership role in direct sales, it's very important, especially dealing with team members,
Mm,
because everybody comes in for a different reason. And I think we, as direct sellers, we need to realize that we need to be a little bit, um, what's the word? Like we need to be a little bit more open and be able to relate to all of those different personalities and be able to take their personality and use it to help us build that relationship with them, right?
yeah, yeah. As
Yeah.
long as you're aware, I mean, just being aware of their personality, you're right. Then you can't take it personally. They're not attacking you. This is just how they communicate. And when you understand that and can identify each person as a dove, an owl, an eagle, or a peacock, it really helps the whole communication tremendously.
Yeah, I think going back, like probably, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, um, I had a leader on my team and we worked so well together because we were the opposite sides of the disc scale.
Mm.
So it's like, I did my thing and she did her thing. And when we were together, we just did amazing things, right?
Mhm.
And that's great because we knew how to play on each other's strengths. And it was funny because one day she said to me, she goes, "Oh, you should be more like this." And I'm like, "No, that's your job."
Yeah, yeah,
I can't put on the costumes. I can't go out there and get the attention like you do. That's your job. Um,
yeah.
I'll just sit here and come in after that's done, and I'll do my thing.
Yeah. If you have two doves, all you're going to do is spend time getting to know each other and, forming
Yeah.
relationship, nothing will get done. And if you have two eagles,
Oh
you're
my
going to be
goodness,
at
I can
each other.
imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so before I forget, I want to get you the how to handle the eagle. I think I gave you one for each of them. So how to handle the eagle. Get straight to the point and focus on results. Present clear solutions and avoid unnecessary details. Highlight how your product or service will solve their problem or meet their goals, and be ready to close the sale quickly. They
Hmm.
want information, they want to purchase, they want to be on.
Yeah.
So different than our doves and our peacocks.
Well, I think this information was absolutely amazing. And you know what, Susan, breaking it down into the birds sort of I think it helps, right? I mean,
Yes.
I know the disc personalities, but relating them to actual characteristics of birds now, it's a little bit easy to remember, right? For me anyway. But then
Yeah.
everybody thinks in a different way. But we're gonna link all of Susan's resources in the show notes of this episode. So if you wanted to take a peek at it, I'd highly recommend going in and checking out the links and make sure you check out the link to the eagle video because I think that's gonna be like
Yes.
so cute.
Oh my gosh, it's addicting. I love it.
All right. So you're going to be hearing a lot more from Susan and I over the next few weeks and beyond. So stay tuned, everyone. And thank you again for joining us on another episode of The Other 99%. And we'll see you again next week. Take care.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you would take a minute to rate and review the podcast, I would absolutely love it. And if you know someone who really needs to hear this podcast, please feel free to share it with them. More listeners, the better. And if you know someone who would like to be a guest on the podcast, or you yourself would like to be a guest, be sure to check the link in the show notes or visit lisaduck.com and click Be a Guest. We'll talk to you soon.